Merry fucking Christmas. How y'all doing? I wasn't going to do a vlog on Christmas Day, but guess what? Surprise, surprise. You got a vlog on Christmas Day. It's Yunamoto. How y'all doing? Okay, so a very long time, for months, my friend has been begging me to do a record review. A record review. Normally that's not really my content, but guess what? It's Christmas Day and I got a new record for Christmas. So I'm going to do a record review today. Merry Christmas. So here we go. Wings' first album. For those of you that don't know, Wings is the band that Paul McCartney formed after the breakup of the Beatles. So this is their first album. And for years, I've been trying to get it. For years, I was trying to get it. You know what I mean? Like, for years, basically. Finding it. I finally got it at £8. £8, so cheap. Look at that. So we finally got Wings' first album. When I was 17, I used to buy Wings albums and think, this is very good. Like I used to put on their records and think, this is like very good. This is like near enough Beatles level. Do you know what I mean? Because you'd expect that from Beatles solo. You'd expect that same spirit to pass on like Beatles albums to Wings albums to Paul McCartney solo albums. Because when I bought Paul McCartney 1, I thought to myself, this is like the best thing next to the Beatles. You understand what I mean? But this, I'm going to be honest. I'm going to give my honest opinion on this. So Wings' first album, Wildlife. Okay. The first 3 tracks sounded like filler. Pure filler. It just sounded like the tracks you'd hear in filler. Do you know what I mean? Like the kind of typical filler tracks. You get into the first 3 tracks and you're thinking, what's going on? Like, when is the album going to get kicking? You get to the 4th track, fair enough, Wildlife, decent song. It goes into detail, fair enough. And you get to side 2. Side 2. Some people never know. Well, I never know why this album is kind of mid. If I'm being honest, Paul McCartney, I never noticed why this album is kind of mid. I Am Your Singer is very decent, though, because it's got backing vocals from Linda McCartney, which is his wife. Fair enough, decent. Tomorrow, mid. I'm going to be honest. Dear Friend is actually a truce to John Lennon's diss track. What's it called now? How Do You Sleep? So obviously Paul McCartney dropped discs. He dropped diss tracks on John Lennon during the album Ram. Okay? So he dropped diss tracks on that, dissing John Lennon or whatever. So basically, you know, he was dissing John Lennon. And then John Lennon responded with a response on his album Imagine with How Do You Sleep? And then Paul McCartney responded with Dear Friend. Like, as a truce, do you know what I mean? Calling it a truce. Saying, you know, it's a truce. Okay? That's it. It's done. So, but this album, I'll rate this album a 4 out of 10. I'm disappointed. I expected better from the first album of Wings. I expected a lot better from the first album of Wings. Because when I was 17, like I said, when I was 17, I used to buy albums by Wings and used to think that this is fucking amazing or whatever. And then now at my grown age of 23, I get the first album finally after trying to find it for so long, trying to find it for a decent price or whatever. Now that I finally get it for Christmas, Merry Christmas, I'm going to give it a 4 out of 10. I'm sorry. I'm not saying it's bad. Don't get me wrong. I still listen to it. I'd still spin it. But I'm just saying I expected better. That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying it's bad. Nothing that can be done by Beatles or ex-Beatles is ever bad. Don't get me wrong. But I'm just saying, 4 out of 10. I expected better. But kind of amazes me how the first album of Wings, it kind of sounds like that. Like, it kind of sounds like all filler. Do you know what I mean? And yet they went on to be fucking massive. Do you know what I'm saying? But hey, Merry Christmas. Peace out.